A lot of people consider dumbbells to be inferior as opposed to barbells. Well, I would not blame them because it's harder to move the same amount of weight using a dumbbell as opposed to a barbell. Say, for example, if I had to do a barbell squat, I can easily finish about 80 kg bar, or say 100 kg bar, including the bar weight, for say 5 to 8 reps.
It's easier to do the same weight with barbell.
Exactly.
For example, if I take these two 15 kgs and do deadlift, it feels more heavy. However, if I take a 30 kg barbell, it feels easy.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly my point. So say I was doing a 100 kg back squat with a barbell, I would easily do 8 reps. But if I had 250 kg dumbbells and then I had to do 8 squats with that, I would struggle with that. Now, the fundamental reason, and this is where one famous quote from Greg Glassman again comes into picture. He always said that, so there are two kinds of apparatus, right? One is a static and one is a dynamic. So a barbell doesn't move inherently. If you keep it, it has balance because of its bilateral nature. When you hold it on your shoulders, there is a lot of balance by itself. You don't have to balance it. But when you hold the dumbbell can move around by itself. So you have to stabilize it as well. So which is why we always say that static before dynamic. Once you build that strength, with the dumbbells, what happens is your core is working more, your stabilizing muscles are working more to balance them and stabilize them. When you hold and go down to a squat, they have all the motion to move around like that, swirl around like that, go up, go down, go front, back, sideways, anywhere. But in a barbell, it's firmly placed there. All you're working on is your quads. So you end up lifting more weights with a barbell. But having said that, think of it this way. If using a 50 kg dumbbell and training the same way is harder, then which would be more effective? A dumbbell would be more effective, right? And that's fundamentally because you're also working your stabilizing muscles, your core, to a greater extent when you're doing unilateral or equipment like, say, a dumbbell, a kettlebell, or a resistance band for that matter, as opposed to a barbell.
And also fixing the imbalances between both.
Exactly. So when you say you're doing a bench press with a barbell, what happens is, because you're pressing with both your arms and the barbell doesn't have to be controlled by that stability or balance factor, you're able to press it easier than when you're doing it with a dumbbell. Say, for example, your left arm is slightly weaker than the right one. With a barbell, you might end up pressing to this extent, but with a dumbbell, you will end up doing something where your left arm might even collapse at a point and you're only able to press with the right arm, because that is the level of imbalance your dumbbell training shows up in your body as opposed to the barbell training, because of which we kind of have made it a point to start using dumbbells very often, because we are not here to lift heavy weights. We are actually looking to get away with our imbalances, build some muscle mass,
and get away with pain, body pain, chronic pain that happens.
Exactly.
Live a more pain-free life.
Exactly. More vital life. And from that point of view, dumbbells do wonders.
And in fact, dumbbells help you build muscle mass also.
Yes, they give you a much more rounded training. So, for example,
barbell also does that.
When you do a bench press with a barbell, the barbell will come and touch your chest. The range of motion stops out here. But when you're using a dumbbell, because there is nothing stopping it from motion, you can get it way below and then press it back up. So it makes it much more effective when it comes to training when you use your dumbbells, because of which, yes, I think dumbbell training is super effective and super, at least a level superior than barbell training. But yes, barbell training has its own benefits. If you are looking at packing on some real muscle mass, because you can move well, you have that basic stability, basic balance, basic coordination ability in your body, and you're looking to up your game and go ahead, you can start using barbells. In fact, whatever movements we do, if you wanted, like for example, today's movement, the half kneeling clean and press, you might not be able to do it half kneeling with single arm, but you can definitely do the same thing in the standing position with a barbell, where you do a clean and press and get heavier weights with that. The workout will have a similar effect on your body. And if you're someone who would like to use barbells, let us know in the comments or in the community, and we would love to help you with variations on how you can use a barbell instead of dumbbells as well.